We're meant to rise. We're meant to be illuminated. We're meant to overcome. That's our nature. And we can do that by becoming aware. We can do that by making a choice. Hey, my friend, it's Julie. Happy New Year. I am so excited about this episode. I'm recording this afterwards, and my mind is a little blown. I will not give it away, but the cards that were chosen were really on point and I think are going to help you to have your most magical, miraculous, blessed year. So stay tuned, listen in, please share your feedback. And I do want to share, because there are a few spots left, if you are looking for a way to really learn how to follow and trust your inner guidance, your higher self, and you want to help others do the same, you want to help others to really live their most aligned, heart-centered life and do the same for yourself, doors are open. Only for another few weeks. We start January 30th, but if you're interested, my Intuitive Life Designer Coach Certification Program is starting soon. I'm going to be teaching it live with my mentor coaches. In addition, we're weaving in Intuition School. It is my premier program. It is so powerful. If you're interested, just go to juliereisler.com/certification. If you have questions, reach out to me. And either way, I just want you to know it is a blessing to be here with you. I hope you love this episode. And I'm so excited. This is going to be a powerful year. We have amazing guests lined up. And I love you. And I hope that you find this episode to be mind-blowing. See you soon. Hey, YOU-EST family, my brothers and sisters all over the globe. It's Julie Reisler. I'm so excited to be here with you. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. It's so funny. I have been wanting to record this solo episode for a while, and I kept getting this urge to wait. And I think I know why. I woke up this morning with this deep desire to talk about what I'm going to talk about, which is all about setting intentions that are not driven by our need to accomplish and make things happen and push and strive, but actually from a whole different realm, from a place that is not guided by our ego, but is totally guided by our higher self. And so I'm really excited. Today's going to be it's going to have such a myriad of stories to share, but I'm also going to be pulling some cards for all of us for the year to come. So sit back, put your little spiritual seatbelt on, and whether we're hanging out as you're walking around the lake or driving kids to school or working out or just spending some time by yourself and getting some time for you, whatever is happening, however we are hanging together, I'm really honored. I know you have a lot of places where you can spend your time, and I appreciate and I'm grateful that the divine has put us on the same path in the same orbit. I don't take that lightly, and I do feel like we are meant to be here, that all is unfolding in divine timing. I really, truly believe that. So with that, I want to start by talking about intentions and kind of redefining intentions. Then I'm actually going to pull some cards for us and see what higher guidance has to say. So one thing I want to say about my intention for this show, and I know for myself, because everything I'm sharing is really has to do with, what I'm learning real time. If you're new to the YOU-EST podcast, if you're new here with me, you're going to learn quickly that I love to share what's happening in my life. I like to share the things that are vulnerable. Sometimes they're messy, uncomfortable, but I love sharing what's working, what I'm learning, and I love sharing from others that are giving gems and wisdom that can help us, that can help you to access your higher self, your higher guidance. And for those of you who've ever done any of the Course in Miracles work, that voice that's known as the Holy Spirit, that's known as your intuition. For some, that might be the voice of, your angels, your guardian angel, your guides, Yeshua, Jesus, whoever that is for you. I'd like you to consider that all of us, because we all come from the same divine thing, we all have a voice that is speaking to us, the light. It may be the light, right? That really speaks to me, my higher self. Whatever that is, there's a voice that is always here, that is always translating between the divine and our human self to help us have a perspective that comes from love, that comes from unity and from joy. So this year, my intention, my personal intention, it's really interesting. My husband was like, couldn't believe it because normally, for those who might even know me well, I'm somebody who tends to be A, multi-passionate, B, have like lots of intentions and lots of goals at one time. And I have been doing a big deep dive into A Course in Miracles. You're going to be hearing from a lot of experts and amazing teachers this year, including people like Gary Renard, who wrote The Disappearance of the Universe, which has literally shifted my life. It is beyond mind-blowing. David Hoffmeister, who is an amazing teacher. Hakeem Hamza, another amazing teacher. Jackie Laura Jones, who's going to be coming on, who's a fantastic course teacher. Hopefully Carol Howe again, and many others. So I am really looking to dive deep because what I've been noticing is that material, when you really understand the depth of it, it it really is so simple. It's not always easy, but it's so simple, right? It's really at the core. Am I coming from ego, which is fear, which is like, clouding the true nature of who I am, or am I coming from the divine perspective, the Holy Spirit, from my higher guidance? Your higher self, your higher guidance, that is, my friend, your you-est you. That is who you are. That is your infinite, immortal nature. And it's mine. It's all of ours. And so I told my husband, I said, my intention this year is to undo my ego. That is a tall order. We're going to talk way more about it in the year to come. How do you do that? What does that mean? I am really on this path at this point. I can tell you, having just turned 50 and feeling like this new surge of energy. Maybe because it's the Jubilee year. I don't know. 50 just feels like completely fabulous and open and powerful. No matter what age you are, we can make a decision at any time. For me, I want to be in peace and love as much as humanly possible. And I know that comes from being guided from my higher guidance, my higher self. It is not going to come from listening to anything that has fear or doubt or confusion or upset. Now, there's a lot more to say about that. But one of the things the Course talks about is that our forgiveness is our function, and not forgiveness like I pardon you and forgive you because you hurt me. No, that's like old school forgiveness. This is a different kind of forgiveness. And I'm telling you, when I bring on some of these teachers, especially Gary Renard, because I know he does a lot with this, we're going to get deep into the kind of forgiveness that I believe is life-changing. It's a forgiveness where, first of all, you realize that you're related. We're all related, that everything is a projection. Everything is a mirror. So if I'm upset, it's not for the reason I think. If I'm upset with someone else, it's always a projection of something going on with me. Always. And I've talked about that with shadow work. I've talked about that before. And so forgiveness is saying, is getting myself grace and the person that I might be upset with, right? Often it's myself. Giving yourself grace, realizing that whoever it is you're upset with is your brother, is your sister, because we are literally all one, seeming like many in this duality system. That is for another time. By the way, another amazing guest that's going to be coming on is Marianne Williamson. She has agreed to do an in-person interview. So that's going to be happening. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to share her new book, The Mystic Jesus, which is amazing. So a lot of gems coming up. We have other guests as well that are lined up. But for me, undoing the ego, making forgiveness my function, and really focusing on connecting to that loving, peaceful presence as often as humanly possible, to me, that is where we start to feel a shift, a lift, greater light. And I believe this idea of enlightenment, it's really a choice. It's a choice of, am I choosing to come from a loving lens or from the egoic, fearful lens? And when I notice the fearful lens, to have grace with myself, to at least be aware, and then to start to look at how can I dismantle that. And what I've been finding is A Course in Miracles is the most powerful work I've ever worked with, studied, that helps to do that. It is in depth. There is a lot there. But if that's of interest to you, it's certainly going to be showing up more in the interviews this coming year. And I really want to help for those of you who are like, I want to do it, but it's really overwhelming. I don't know where to begin. Yeah, I was just like you. And there's so much truth and wisdom and healing and a whole new landscape through that work. It's transformative. So, my intention, my only intention, I'm being really like out about it, it's undoing my ego and doing that through working the course in miracles and really looking at how can I pick up anything that disturbs me, that disturbs my peace through the lens of love. So if that speaks to you, I want to talk about intentions, right? I said earlier, that we often come from this place of kind of like this. Well, it's often very egoic, the striving, the pushing. And I'm not saying there's any problem with goals. But what I'm going to challenge you to do, my friend, is to look at the goals, the intentions that you've set, and really ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is this coming from proving that I'm worthy, proving that I'm good enough, proving that I can do it? Often that proving energy comes from a place of lack. Right? So it could be, yeah, I want to prove to myself that I can lift heavier weights, that I can, okay, great. So that could be under that proving is empowerment. Or is it coming from a lack of power, a feeling like you are lacking something? That's a good distinction. So if you feel like, it's coming from a place of empowerment, then it's probably an intention to keep. But if the intention or goal is coming from a place of, even if it's, hidden, our ego is so tricky. It's going to have it look like, no, I want to create a six-figure business and I want to do it because I deserve to. And that's fine, right? That might be empowering to you, but it also might be that underneath it, there's something saying to you that you feel like you're not good enough and you need to show yourself. You need to prove your worthiness. And that's where we want to look for where our ego is kind of sneaking in. So the intention, a lot of us set intentions to get healthier. Great. What does that look like? What's underneath it? Where is it coming from? And I can actually boil it down for you and make it even simpler, because what I heard this morning really is this, right? Is it coming from love? Is it coming from fear, scarcity, lack? That's a real simple way. Think of it like putting it through a colander and what comes out, right? So if you put it through the colander and fear comes out, then it might be something to look at and maybe to reframe or to change. The other thing to look at with your intentions and with your goals is really where and how and where, what do you want to pour your love into? What do you want to pour your love into? That is, I think, a powerful question. This is something I've been asking myself, and it's been really life-changing for me. I've shared many times on here, I am a big believer in learning how to tap into our intuition, your higher self. That is your you-est you. I had a major shift this past year. I've probably shared about it, so I don't want to keep saying the same story, but my intuition changed and saved my life so many times. I really should just do an episode on that. I've shared about it bits and pieces. My intuition gave me the wake up when I knew life was not feeling aligned, and I heard my higher self. I woke up in the middle of the night, and it tapped me on the shoulder. Very calm, very, very calm voice just said, "You're not okay right now." Right. I also heard it when it was time to move on from a day job, a full-time job, benefits. I had kids. It made no sense. I was a single mom. And that's when I started this business. My intuition has guided me. My higher self has guided me in so many ways. Today, I do everything by it. I try to do everything by it. I recently, about a year ago, decided to close my coaching certification program. My intuition was so strong that something was really missing. And what I realized is that even though we talked about intuition, I had to shut down one of my most favorite programs that's also revenue generating, that has brought in amazing people from all over the world. I had to shut it down, and I didn't know why. And what ended up happening was this whole new program came out of me, Intuition School. I've talked about it. And I've just reopened my certification. This is the first time in almost a year. And we are weaving in intuition school and teaching intuition. And I am telling you, it's the first time it's not quite filled up, but we already have 9 people that joined. There's still room for a few more, but it was so easy and it felt so aligned because my heart is in it, because I asked myself the question. This is a question for you to ask. Where and what do I want to pour my love into? I knew for me, I want to pour my love into teaching about intuition, focusing on my intuition and others' intuition, learning how to listen to your higher self, learning how to integrate that, learning how to trust it, right? And teaching how to use that and to help others. So what is it for you, my friend? What do you want to pour your love into? That is the question that I believe when you go there, and that those kinds of feelings and kind of the sensations are going to be feeling a sense of passion, of energy, of excitement, of being lit up. All of that is in the playground, the realm of love, of what do you want to pour your love into. And that, I believe, is going to lead you to an intention that frankly is coming from your higher self, from the Holy Spirit, from your higher guidance, whatever you call that, your intuition, that when you follow that, it can't not lead to abundance. It can't not attract the people you're meant to serve. I've seen this over and over again, right? And I'm just sharing. It was a big deal for me to shut down my coaching program. I actually redesigned it. It now has intuition school. We've added the intuitive piece. And it's like I looked at my calendar and my overview of my finances last year of my business, and I'm like, wow, that was a big hit financially. However, it was aligned. And I have this great quote painted right at the bottom of my studio. It says, "The universe pays you back for taking risks on its behalf," by Shakti Gawain. I'm going to encourage you to really sit with that. The universe pays you back for taking risks on its behalf. It is risky sometimes to follow your intuition, to get quiet, to ask this question: where do I want to pour my love? What do I want to pour my love into? And if it's not what I'm doing, how can I slowly ease out and find ways to do it? So it might not mean leaving your job tomorrow, but it might mean doing something like taking a class or getting involved in an organization on the side, or making time for your art or for cooking or for whatever it is that like you just love. So I'm going to encourage you, and I can feel the energy as I'm saying this like bubble up, to really, really honor the powerful medicine of love, of sacred love, of love that is you, of passion, of joy, of insight, of that fiery energy that wants to express, that deserves to express, that frankly, as Rumi says, what you're seeking is seeking you, to allow that to be your guiding light. I know one of the things I teach in my intuition framework is the first thing is intend. Our intentions are our magic wands. They are. What you intend is where you put your energy and your focus. And where you put your energy and focus is where energy flows. What you focus on expands is another way to say that. So think of your intention as a magic wand. So I know we're all getting into the new year intentions, and it's fantastic, and goals and desires and dreams. And I would just invite you to pause and review the list. Review. Maybe you've just sort of thought about it. Maybe you've written out. Maybe you're like, I've got it all down. That's awesome. But really put it through this cycle of coming from the lens of love. That is how you're going to have miracles. The Course in Miracles defines a miracle as a shift in perspective. And really underneath it, it's a shift in perspective from ego, fear, scarcity, lack, to love, higher guidance, intuition, higher self. That's really the difference. And the bridge to that is asking myself, where am I coming from? How am I seeing this? So right away, what I'm hearing is we are all going to have miracles this year. I'm so excited to see what cards I pull, because I can tell you right now, we're all going to have miracles. I'm setting that intention. We're all going to have miracles. We're all going to have shifts in perspective, and we're going to do this together. And that's why I'm bringing in so many amazing guests. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to share some of these conversations that are going to glow your mind. Absolutely. And my intention is that every time you tune in with me, you are blessed, my friend. So I'm going to start pulling some cards and see what our creator, our loving divine guidance has in store for all of us. And I'm going to invite you, if you have a moment, to get out your pen and paper or just to close your eyes and take this in. And I'm going to state the intention right now. I like to do this, even though I've done it before we started. I just want to set the intention here. May these cards pulled and the information shared, may they serve at the highest level for the highest good of everyone tuning in now and forevermore at any time. May they be a blessing to you and all those that you're here to serve and bless. So these are my You-EST intention cards. I like to start with them. They have my energy in them, and I'm going to pull two of them, and it's a good place to start. All right, this is the other one. Let's see what we got. Okay, these two. So the first one, oh my goodness. All right, these are fantastic cards. This is basically the essence of everything I've been talking about. So the first card, if you're listening, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to read it to you. If you are watching, especially if you're on YouTube, and leave comments. I'd love to know, do these resonate? I try to respond to all of them. I'm going to show it to you. So the first card you can see is freedom. Freedom. Freedom is to live my life in the way that I want, and that's a sacred gift. I am fully free to be self-expressed as the truest version of me. That is your You-EST, by the way. I allow myself to feel free. I allow others to be free. Okay, some questions to ask your You-EST. What does freedom feel like to me? What are ways that I'm free in my mind, my body, my soul? What do I need to let go of to feel free? What is something I can do right now, this morning, today to feel free? How can I help someone else to feel free? That's a beautiful question. And then my most favorite card, which I just chose, if you're watching, you can see it, is love. If you're listening, it's love. So what we're talking about, to pull everything, your intentions by the thread of love. That's really it, right? So really looking at those intentions. Do they have scarcity and lack? If they do, how can you shift it so it comes from a place of love? By the way, love also has the quality of abundance, of prosperity, of magnetism, of light, of joy, right? Of compassion, of passion. All of those live in the realm of love. Here's the intention. I am learning to love myself and others in the human family unconditionally. That is where we all want to stop and pause. Unconditionally meaning without conditions or any reason other than I choose to be loving, i.e., decision. You make a choice. This is going to be the most important thing for all of us, is to remember we always are at choice. It doesn't always feel that way because our feelings come up and they can bring up, a sense of sadness or grief or frustration or anger or resentment. And we want to look and say, okay, be with that. And now how might my higher self see this, which is love? How might love see this? It would be loving and compassionate. And then maybe there's some grace in there. Maybe I can bring in grace. You can bring in grace for yourself, which is kindness and knowing you're worthy, right? No other reason than you were born. You're here for a reason. We're here all together. You and I are here in this Earth curriculum school to learn how to let go of our ego, of our scarcity, to remember who we are. That's my personal belief. That's the whole point of reclaiming your You-EST, of being your You-EST. That is who you are. So love, here are some questions. How can I show myself more love today? What is the most loving thing I can do right now? And how can I show love to those I disagree with? That is huge. Somebody I see the world differently from, whether it's ideologically, religiously, spiritually, politically, it doesn't matter. And then lastly, what would love have me do here? So that's going to be the question for your intentions, your goals. I want you to ask yourself, how would love see this? What would love have me do here? Right? Where do I want to pour my love, and what do I want to pour my love into? When you ask that question, by the way, I can already feel like this energy, this surge rise. So just notice, right? Our incredible wisdom that we get through the body temple we live in, even though you and I know we're not our bodies, we are infinite, immortal souls. We still do have a body we live in as human beings, and it gives us information. So notice when you ask these new questions, and that's a lot of what I teach in my intuitive life coach program, teach about really powerful questions. I'll have information, by the way, if anybody's interested. It'll be in the description below and also in the show notes. And if not, that's cool too. But I can feel someone might be asking that, so I will add that. All right, my friend, we're going to pull from the Sacred Traveler. I'm going to show you. This is a amazing, amazing deck. I use it all the time from Denise Lynn, and I'm going to just ask to be guided to pull a card for our highest good. Okay, this one is, so what I'm doing is I'm shuffling, and then the one that kind of like glows, that just feels like a resonance, and I'll ask my higher self, is it this one? And I get a yes. And if it's a no, then I don't pull it. So this was the one. I love, love, love this card. This is for you. If you're listening right now, this is for you. I can feel it. I don't even have to know you at a personal level, although I might. This is for you. I can feel this energy. Okay, I'm going to show it to you if you're watching. If you're listening, it is begin now. Take your first step. So important. Love this one. I love this one so much. And it reminds me, I paint quotes all over my house. It's really not the best idea for resale value, but whatevs, we're going to just paint someday when we sell. And I have the quote by Lao Tse at the front of the door. It says, the journey begins with a single step. And it's exactly this, right? So begin now. I'm going to read it to you. Every journey starts with the first step. There is no moment better than the present one to begin. You might not feel ready, but nevertheless, it's now is the time to start. A new cycle is beginning. Wipe the slate clean and get going. Release familiar routines, stagnant situations, or challenging relationships that no longer support you or empower you. You are at the end of an old cycle and beginning a new and exciting one. Set your sails for a new horizon. I totally feel this is what I was talking about. For me, turning 50 in this new decade, I just like feel it. It doesn't have to be age. It could be like you might just feel this energy of something shifting. And this is really what is happening in 2025 in this year to come. We're going to have a lot of new cycles for each of us. And I'm feeling this like collectively and also for anyone tuning in. I really am. So I'm going to read what the Sacred Traveler wants you to know. There are times when the traveler needs to separate from family, friends, and acquaintances to enter new places within himself or herself. Sometimes the traveler must go beyond what is familiar in order to be open to transformation and change. Thus, the journey brings a heightened sense of awareness and ignites mindfulness. Sometimes it can feel difficult to take the first step, but unless you do, you'll never know the joy and fulfillment that await you. Do it now. In the words of Lao Tse. Oh my gosh, you guys. I didn't know this was in here. In the words of, I'm sorry, Lao Tzu. I didn't say it right. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. I just have this feeling of like, thank you, Holy Spirit, higher guidance, intuition, the light. Like, thank you, because that felt very synchronistic. I didn't know that was in there. I didn't remember that, but that is exactly it. Literally, I should probably put a picture. Maybe I'll add that in the YouTube comments. I'll add a picture of what I painted in my house. It's literally at the front of the door, and I see it every day, and my kids see it every day, and I want to remind them to begin now. So this is what the message is, and I'm going to just share with you intuitively what's coming forward. So part of what happens, our ego, which it thinks it's here to protect us, is not. And it's also not the true or real identity of who you are. But what can happen is it's like plaque on your teeth. Over time, the beliefs stack up like plaque on your teeth, and it starts to look like it starts to feel kind of sticky. And so these beliefs, they build up around, it's too late, I'm too old, it's not going to happen, I don't have what I need, I don't have the money. Like I could go on and on and on about all of these beliefs. You might have had some of them. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have enough education. I need more guidance. I need more time. I need what I want you to get. This is so beautiful. I'm going to say thank you to the divine because I can feel it connecting to what I said earlier. What I want you to get is when you look at your intentions, your goals, your dreams, your desires, and you come in, my friend, from love, from pulling it up from the thread of what am I pouring love into? Where do I feel passionate, light, energy? What moves me at the soul level? What do I know that is for me to do at the heart level? And these can be different things, many things, but usually you're going to have things that you just know are for you to do and to be and to express, right? When we look at it from that lens, we want to really put on our loving kid gloves and be compassionate, because for many of us, we've been conditioned to be fearful, to not believe it, to not trust it. And the ego is very sneaky. It's going to come in and tell you all of these lies. So, whatever it is you can do, the littlest baby step, the smallest baby step, it doesn't matter. That is enough. That is enough. If you decide, you know what, I'm going to take the tiniest step forward, it might be I am getting some colored pencils and I'm going to start doodling. I'm going to start writing poetry again. I'm going to get out my Google Doc and write the first sentence of my book. Seriously, I'm with you on that. I have this new book that I've been waiting on. It's like, come on, Julie. So come on, my friends. We're going to do this together. We're going to just start one baby step. You're going to sign up for the free workshop. You're going to take the cooking class. You're going to make a call to the person you met a year ago that you just felt connected with and see how you might connect further. Whatever that is, that little, and I want it to be the littlest baby step you can think of. I have my first book, Get a PhD in You, and I have a whole chapter called Bless the Baby Steps. And I forget all the time that I wrote this book and I wrote about this. And I need this reminder myself as well. We've got to take these blessed, sacred baby steps, because what happens is those little steps, they don't freak out our nervous system. They allow you to ease into a new mindset and heart set, and your nervous system can adapt. So beginning now, right, to take that step, all you've got to do, and the Course actually, A Course in Miracles talks a lot about this, that when you start taking these steps to listen and trust your higher self, the divine God follows and takes way more of the steps than you even need to help you to illuminate your mind. What we're going for is an illumination, right? A light that fills our mind and our spirit and our self. And then we go from that fear and the darkness into deeper light, into greater light. That's who we really are. So, powerful. Please, whatever it is, take that baby step. Do it. Even if you're scared, do it scared. Find a friend, find someone who can support you. Share here, put it in the YouTube comments. Seriously, we have so many loving souls from all over the world that share, that support, that write back. I try to write to everybody. Like, let us know, what are you doing? What is the baby step? Put it in the comments. I want to hear, I want to know, I want to cheer you on. We are doing this thing together. We are illuminating our minds. We're becoming enlightened together. That is my intention, because I don't really want to do it by myself. It's really not that fun. So, all right, I feel like we're in my living room having a conversation. I hope you're enjoying and following. I'm going to pull one more card, and this is going to be the Animal Spirit deck. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle and just see what we get for this last deck that we're going to use. All right, I'm getting this one. It's glowing, and I'm feeling my stomach get a lot of energy, so I wonder if it'll be solar plexus. Oh, I don't know if I've ever pulled this. All right, cool. This is a really cool, it's a fire sign. Fire ant. So if you're looking, you're going to see it looks like little ants. Fire ant, and it looks like a star, like a stellium in the middle. And I'm going to read to you what the fire ant. Oh, I thought I pulled right to it. All right, let me find. It is fire. Okay, hang in with me. I think I might have missed it. It's probably one of the first ones, I bet you. Fire ant, here we come. Nope, not hyena. Fire ant. Yep, first one. Here we go. All right. Aggression, rigid thinking, following orders. Fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. When in balance, thoughtful and disciplined. When out of balance, argues, excessive heat, gossips, to bring into balance solo time, walks at night. Ooh, that is so powerful. I'm going to share with you what's coming up for me. And number one, gossiping, judgment, attack. It's interesting as I've been diving very deep into the Course in Miracles, known as the Course. Really at the bottom of what we're healing is our attacking ourselves and other people. So when you gossip, when you say a mean word about somebody, or by the way, yourself, which can be really, really sneaky. We do this all the time. Those words, those attacking words, when you say it about someone else, it's also what it's really doing is getting that each person in the world is actually, we're all one. It's a reflection of ourselves. It's kind of a big concept. But when we do that, we're attacking ourselves. And then what happens is we move into that attacking mode and mindset. And what we're really doing here is, I believe, is looking to heal our mind, heal the smaller self mind and becoming really in tune, aligned with, and I would say engulfed by the greater mind, the Holy Spirit's mind, the mind of illumination. So the fire ant, what I love about it, it's like a reminder that when you feel that heat, when you feel judgment, attack, frustration, to really pause and ask yourself, become aware and ask yourself, what's going on here? What is upsetting me? How am I in attack? How am I either the gossiping about myself or someone else? And then immediately coming into a place of, okay, pause, bring in forgiveness, light, and ask your higher self to guide you, right? So that heat can cause a lot of agitation. And I love what it said about walking at night, like bringing in that cooling energy of walking at night and being in silence, going within. The heart chakra, also known, I believe, in Sanskrit as the anahata, we connect to our heart space by getting quiet. That's how we hear. That's how you're going to hear your higher self, your intuition. It's so powerful. I'm telling you, I run everything by my higher self today. I don't make a decision. If I'm not sure, I run it by my higher self, and you can do that. You really can. So I'm going to pull one more of these animal spirit cards. I just feel the desire and then urge. Let's see what we get. Feeling like one more for us to go along with the fire ant. Although that was really powerful. Okay. Keep this one. All right. This is the last card. Oh my gosh, this is one of my most favorite cards in the entire world. Isn't it? Okay, if you're watching, this is so cool. So, one of my favorite things I really want to show everybody. I don't know if I can do this without making you dizzy, but on my whiteboard right next to me, so I pulled the Phoenix, which is the spirit card. And I have a huge Phoenix that I drew. I also, behind me, for those of you who know Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, I'm very grateful. She's become a very dear friend, and she actually made these angel phoenix wings that are behind me. I just put them up. Isn't that funny? She made them out of glass and solder, and it just reminds me, she's the author of Whole Brain Living and gave the amazing TED Talk, Stroke of Insight. And the Phoenix, is all about transformation and transmutation. So I'm going to read this to you. I'm so glad that we're doing one more card. I felt it. Okay, my friend, listen up and notice the first word with the Phoenix is freedom. That was one of our cards earlier. Freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. This is deep. The Phoenix represents the transformation of the past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The Phoenix employs an advantage technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practices and dedication, which is tapas. The essence of the Phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. This is exactly what I've been saying. Okay. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up and up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. And we may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings. This is so beautiful. The phoenix and the first chakra. The ancient yogis believed that our heaviest karmas reside in the first chakra. That's our root. This earthen center is also called Muladhara, or our root. This ascent of the phoenix begins here, and as the entanglement of karmas is slowly burned, it rises from the ash toward the navel center. It's totally what I felt, right? That energy in our navel, that fire energy. Again and again, it makes this journey from first to third chakra, purifying our essence, freeing us from the past. And you can see this beautiful eye. I'll show it up if you're watching. Woo, that is a powerful, powerful card to end on. I love that so much. I'll show it one more time. And as you know, if you're with me and you've seen this, been in the show before or watch it, I wear the phoenix necklace I have all the time because I like to be reminded. I like to be reminded of not just possibilities, but our power. We're meant to rise. We're meant to be illuminated. We're meant to overcome. That's our nature. And we can do that by becoming aware. We can do that by making a choice. It's exactly what I was saying. The moment you say, I want to be driven by my higher self, that is your you-est you, my dear. That is your authentic soul self, your infinite immortal self. So I could go on and on. Obviously, I have a lot of energy and passion about this. I want to also share that one of my other intentions around this, really stepping into my power, into your power. And I'm just going to encourage you to look and see where you're doing this. I really felt called to share this, is to see where have you put others on pedestals, or maybe even yourself. But often, if you're here, you're probably like me. Where do we do that with others? Well, we want to really look at that because, of course, anytime we do that, what we're doing in our mind, we're activating the egoic perspective, which is levels and distinctions and duality, right? This person's smarter than I am. This person's wiser, better, whatever it is. You and we have no idea. I believe we've done many, 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 many lifetimes, and there's many lessons that we are here to learn. Probably traveled in soul groups before. So it's not a good idea to compare to anybody. I learned a long time ago in this 12-step world, to compare is to despair. To compare is to despair. And that when we compare, we're setting up premeditated resentments. So I'm going to encourage you, and part of your intention and your focus for this year is to take people off the pedestals. Anybody that might seem to have it all, seem to look the part, whatever it is, take them off. We're all in this together. We're actually all of the one same child of God together. And we all have our own lessons. No one is better than you are. No one is worse than you are. And that is a shift. That is a shift in changing to the thought system of the divine, of your higher guidance, of the Holy Spirit. That is a huge shift. And for me, what has really helped, and I've interviewed some amazing, really well-known experts, teachers, luminaries, well-known human beings, and I've learned, it's part of my path, and I'm sharing this because I have a feeling it's for you as well, to take everybody off and to realize we're all here in our own divine timing, right? To go through the experience of the phoenix in whatever you're doing, to go through the experience, seeing where there's the fire ant, that feeling of agitation, that vrittis, as it's known in Sanskrit and yogic terms, to cool the mind, right? To tune into love, and what love would have you do here, and where you want to pour your love, because that leads to freedom and abundance. and to begin now, to take that step, that little baby step. And as it said, Lao Tzu said, the journey begins with a single step. So this has been so powerful for me. I want to share that everything I'm sharing with you, I feel just as really grateful because I can feel the divine speaking to me as well. And I really hope that this conversation and these intentions and these cards and everything spoken here, may it really bless you at the deepest level. And I just want to thank you for being on this journey with me. Would love to know what resonated. What are your new intentions? What baby step are you going to take? Where are you seeing your transformation? Please share. The best place to do that, go to YouTube, go to the comment section. I love reading what's happening for you and responding. You can also always email me, and you can find me at juliereisler.com or on Instagram, on YouTube at Julie Reisler. Just please share and know that you're loved and we're in this together. I really do believe, and I love this. I'm going to hold it up one more time. We are here to rise together. When you share an idea, a heartfelt, soulful idea, this is the last thing. Okay, I've got to say one more thing. They just keep coming. I can't help myself. I hope if you're still here, first of all, congratulations. And I'm so impressed because I just keep talking, but these inspirational thoughts, they keep coming through. And the last thing I want to say to you is, I think what a lot of us are healing from is this feeling of scarcity and lack. Like in the 3D world, we think if I give you a part of the pie I have, I'm going to be at a loss. But I want you to understand, and this comes actually from the Course. I was just reading this in the text. It's a great metaphor. You can think about it with a candle. I have a candle behind me, right? You have a candle, I have a candle. If my candle's lit and I light your candle, I'm not diminished in any way. In fact, we have more light. Another way to look at this is with ideas. So when you share an idea that's uplifting, that's empowering, and that could be an idea that's around something that, challenge you've overcome or a baby step you've taken, or in the comments about your intentions that are coming from love. When you share from love an idea like that and others are moved and touched and inspired by that idea, it grows. You're sharing and you're giving away that love, that idea, that empowerment. And what happens? It grows and it spreads. It's the opposite of what we think. You're not left with less, you're left with more. That's part of the reason I love doing this show is I can feel your energy. And then when I get to hear what's happening with you and then others, you're chiming in and we're supporting one another, it's like we are shifting the energy, the vibration, but we're saying, yes, I am honoring my higher self. I'm choosing that over the ego, the small self. So I just want to thank you because I know like attracts like. I know that you're here. I know that the work you're doing in your life, I know whatever it is, you're here to choose your higher self, to choose your you-est you. And I just want to say thank you. I honor you. I see you. I love you. On that note, thank you for being here with me, my friend. And as always, it's an honor. Love always from my me-est me to your you-est you. May you have a most blessed year. Mwah.